everybody, and welcome to Theorycraft Thursday. I, of course, am Ursinity, and I'm here with my co-host, Proud. Hello, Proud.
Hi.
And we, of course, are everybody's favorite yo-yo review podcast. Today, we're going to be testing out two yo-yos. We're going to test out the discontinued Striker made by Spy, and later on, we're going to be talking about Caribou Lodge's new series of Sasquatch yo-yos. I am quite excited. We haven't done on-string yo-yos in a while. We've done a bunch of off-string recently. So, Proud, what are you looking most forward to?
It's not a Omega Fireball, so I don't give a shit.
That's fair. Everybody does love the classics. Well,
it's nice. It's easy. It's like it doesn't fucking hurt. Like I have a metal yo-yo, a metal butterfly, and it hurts. I needed like a chainmail glove to use it because it fucking beats the shit out of my hands. And like it was a great present from a really good friend of mine, but like, sorry, dude, it fucking hurts. I'm going to use my plastic fireball that I can throw around and do crazy shit with. And it's cheap. It's like nice. It's just cheap. It's good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Take it from me. Investing in expensive yo-yos is a weird choice that people will judge you for. Anyway, before we continue our yo-yo talk for this week, let's work on our side project. Let's talk a little bit about a game called Dota 2, shall we?
I've played this game, yeah.
All right. So how has your week in Dota 2 been, Proud?
It's been good, friend.
Yeah,
it's been good.
Just good. Average.
Yeah, won a battle cup, play some games, won them. For the most part, I played a lot of Lone Druid past couple days, and by a lot I mean like 2 or 3. And yeah, like I'm just fucking good at Lone Druid, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, if there's one thing we've learned from years of this podcast, it's probably that.
This is fucking awesome, man.
Anything else standing out for you other than LD?
Radiance sucks on Lone Druid, dude. Radiance is fucking bad.
The eternal argument.
Yeah, dude. I've just the games that I've played. I'm like, Jesus. Like the things that make me be like, this is so fucking good, are the things that are directly a result of me not going Radiance. I was like, why? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, what? I'm just gonna fucking do nothing and hang out in my den and hibernate for 18 minutes? Or am I gonna fucking, like, kill everyone from level 5 to 15 and then just end the game at 20 minutes? Like, I'm gonna do that instead of get my Radiance at 22 and then, like, fuck that. Just end the game. What are you doing? Just kill them. Fucking, why are you farming? As a Maelstrom or a Deso, pick one and then shove it down their throats. It's not hard.
You'd be surprised.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I know exactly.
Suppose.
Stop. Fuck sucks. Shit item for idiots.
Yeah. So that's an opinion or a fact. One of the two, probably.
It's facts. All right. I'm no longer gonna be like, well, Radiance is fine. I'm gonna go at this game like. No, it sucks. Everyone's dumb. Fight me.
I don't want to. I don't care that much.
Fucking back off. Yeah, and the won a battle cup. That was cool. I played Juggernaut, and I want you to guess the 3 here. I pretty sure I already told you, but I played a Juggernaut game, played a Sven game, and I played a Mid Monkey King game, and I stomped on all of them. So that was that felt good.
That's good. I took a page out of your book, and I actually played a Mid Monkey King game.
What'd you play it against?
I played against Ember Spirit.
Oh yeah, that's great.
It was a good matchup. It was an awkward game.
Did you go Shreds or Phase?
See, I just autopiloted. I went Phase, and I immediately regretted it.
Yeah, they suck.
Well, because partially I was like, I want Phase that I can like punch him better, right? I can like run up at him, and I had like my Orb of Venom, but then I was like, boy, I'm squishy. And
you just die, and you have no attack speed because you get the fucking evasion talent.
Yeah, but yeah, so I just wasn't thinking, so I just autopiloted, and that was rough.
Yeah,
I ended
lost
up
because of it. That's the whole reason.
Well,
I lost.
I mean, I lost that game for a variety of reasons.
Mostly the boot choice, though.
Well, it was a very mixed skill party, and it did not pan out. As mixed skill parties tend.
And neither did your item build, from the sounds of it.
Well, okay, so I went Phase, and then I had Orb of Venom and a Blightstone.
Okay.
And a Stout. And I had to carry Dusk because the enemy team had a...
You didn't have a Poor Man's Shield?
It was against an Ember Spirit, so I was like, I'm going to bully him.
I'm still asking the same question, though.
I didn't go Poor Man's Shield.
You have 0 armor.
Yeah, but I wanted to start with Stout Orb of Venom. No, I didn't get a freaking Quelling Blade.
Why do you need a Orb of Venom?
To bully.
What if you had 6 more damage and blocked more and had
I didn't need 6 more damage.
Armor and 6 attack speed? Yeah, you did. You didn't need a fucking orb. You get the orb from the courier.
No.
Yeah, no. You need Poor Man's Shield. You can't not go Poor Man's Shield, dude. It's like any jug build that doesn't have a Poor Man's Shield. Like, I don't care what you're up against in lane. Get the fucking you need that.
Okay. And then from there, I went Phase, and I got a bottle, and then I went Echo Saber, Silver Edge, because the enemy team had a PA.
Cool.
And then also I felt like an idiot because I built the Silver Edge, right? And I was like, all right, I'm going to counter PA. And then right when I was getting with 15 minutes after I got my Silver Edge, she got a butterfly. And I felt so silly
hilarious.
Because I would Silver Edge her and then she would still be evading my things. And I was like, what the heck is happening? My Silver Edge is broken. And it turns out that was not the case. She just built a butterfly like I don't even know what a lunatic move to make, but it worked.
Oh, it's great. No, you see someone that's starting to go that, and then they have to have Silver Edge and MKB, and then their hero just doesn't have any of the items that it wants to.
Yeah.
That is a good move.
And then
it's hilarious.
Then I built an AC last because I needed armor and I wanted more attack speed.
Yeah, so you didn't have a BKB?
No, I didn't. I would have built it next, but I just we just had no really damage.
Yeah.
Oh, it was terrible. It was just I kept being forced into making either plays or making item choices that I didn't want to do but felt I needed to do because the enemy team and their tempo. And they just bullied us super hard. They had a roaming Ricky, and our team did not deal with it well, so he just kind of manhandled our entire team nonstop.
Oh, yeah,
so it was one of those rough games. Yeah, their Ricky was 18-9, and he had almost as much net worth as their offlaner.
Yeah.
They ran freaking Darkseer Ricky, and I was like...
Oh, that's brutal.
Well, it's brutal, and I could not micromanage the team well enough because I was playing a hero I was unfamiliar with, and it was just awkward.
Yeah, and your build was bad.
I did lose that game. It was fun, but admittedly I've only played I think maybe 4 or 5 Monk King games in total. And all the other ones were in roaming back a few patches ago when he was pretty OP. And so my tempo and my comfortability on the hero was really awkward because
you got Tree Dance at level 4. Yeah, you did nothing right here, honestly. Everything you did in this game was strictly wrong. Yeah,
it was not great.
Max Jingu at 7. Yeah, these are pretty egregious errors there, Sam.
Yeah, well, things happen. Anyway, but that was fun just because the hero's fun, even though I did horribly.
The hero's fun, dude.
But I don't think I'm going to be playing him too much. TBH. Yeah. I'd like him to go back to being a roamer. Admittedly, he was really OP and annoying before.
No, dude.
But he was fun to roam on.
Well, I guess. because he was good and you killed everyone.
I guess.
Fucking Bastion shit. No, don't make that dude a roamer. Everyone's a roamer. Who isn't a roamer? Just let him be a core. Name one hero that's not a roamer.
Puck.
Puck's a roamer, dude.
Yeah, Puck's a roamer.
Crit Puck, roamer.
So actually, coincidentally, that's the other hero that stood out in my week in Dota is Puck, and I only played 1 game of it, and historically it's always been a hero that I've wanted to learn, but always put on the back burner because why would I bother? Because a lot of times Puck has just not been good. Sure. But now Puck's crazy good, and I feel as though I need to learn this hero, and I think that's going to be my new project pre-TI is just to play a whole bunch of Puck games.
Yeah. It would be cool if you played a single mid hero that I could pick you ever, and you would be this is a good matchup.
Hey, now I play plenty of heroes. I just don't play Puck.
Yeah, it's just they're all Invoker and TA and OD. They're all kind of the same thing. Where I'm is this a good mid matchup? And you're oh, it's okay, but you're gonna need to do everything for 30 minutes. Okay, well, so I could just pick any of your heroes, and that's the answer.
But Puck's the same, right? Puck, if he has a bad lane,
does not do nothing for 30 minutes. And Puck does not have a bad lane. What is one bad Puck lane?
Yeah,
wow, that was a really well thought out question.
I'm sorry, I can't think of it immediately.
Dude, name one.
Let's see, what's a bad Puck matchup? Sniper.
Not once you get past the laning stage, and even then.
I mean, if you get roamed on by a Ricky. Zeus.
I guess Zeus isn't great.
I don't know. I mean,
Puck is an amazing laner. Puck is a lane dominator.
I know. But like Puck is not always the best hero for the game. Well, anyway, all I'm saying is that I want to learn Puck because I've kept putting it on the back burner. I've only played like a couple dozen games of Puck maybe ever. That's like over years. So he's like whatever is one of my most rusty heroes. And by rusty, I mean like I never
just don't play them. Yeah, it's like my Storm isn't rusty. I've just never played it. Like
okay.
Once.
Dude, what do you think my Puck win rate is? I have 22 games played on this hero.
You have 22 games?
Yeah, I have 22 games on this hero.
And you don't play it?
I don't play it, no.
Okay,
I mean, I have like 5,000 games, dude.
32.
32. You see my win rate is 32 with Puck?
32%, yeah.
What if I... Oh my god, this is mortifying. What if I told you in 22 games my win rate is 18%?
Ooh, that's about half of what I was expecting. So,
oh, man.
I mean, at least you admitted it. Oh, wait, that's like literally half. Yeah, I said 32, right? Or 37?
You said 32, so it's
okay,
not quite half.
So, man, I double overestimated how good you are.
Do you know what other hero I have 18% win rate on in 11 games?
I do, actually. It is... I'm just guessing. I'm not looking at anything. Fuck.
You'd know it. When I say it, you'll know.
Oh, no, I don't know then. Lone Druid.
No, Bloodseeker. My Lone Druid win rate. What is my Lone Druid win rate?
It's irrelevant. Anyway.
My Lone Druid win rate is 31% in 13 games.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, Bloodseeker is like the hero that I never play.
Okay.
I also have a 0% win rate with Monkey King and Underlord. So,
I wonder why you don't have fun on Monkey King.
Yeah, I mean, I said I have fun on Monkey King. I just said I'm not good at it.
Yeah, you're probably not going to play. Yeah, well, anyway.
Okay. So that was my week, was really just those two standout games, playing things that I'm not comfortable on, because I've been like so distracted from Dota, playing other things, that I feel like to revitalize my love of Dota, I need to branch out and play weird things. Because too often I'm just like, oh, I'm in a 5-stack, I'm going to just default and like, oh, I'm just going to like play Invoker or play something I usually play.
Yeah, maybe if you played ranked, you would be a little more like inclined to be doing these things.
Nah. Let's see. Nothing else stands out for me. Let's talk about what we're going to be doing today in our segment. So our segment, working with the heroes that we'll be playing today, is going to be on picking when you're forced to pick a core first, right? So this is... Obviously, we're playing in a stack, but everybody complains about in solo queue when it's like, all right, I'm in solo queue, I'm marked carry, nobody's contesting me, that's fine, but nobody wants to pick, because normally, you want your 5 to pick and your 4 to pick, and then usually like off lane, and then you pick the mid whenever the enemy mid is revealed, yada yada yada.
Sure.
But sometimes you're playing solo queue and it's just like, all right, my team is not going to pick. I don't want to lose 80 gold, so I just have to first pick a carry. And then, of course, they counter you, and you're going to have to deal with that. So Proud's idea for today was to basically replicate that and then talk about how we're going, or how you specifically are going to deal with that, and all that. And I'm just going to play a generic good hero that's meta right now, which is Sand King. So I'm not really a part of this segment. But, so Proud, what is your general approach when you say, all right, I'm just screwed, I have to first pick, otherwise we're going to lose gold.
Wait, I thought we were going to talk about how to like get good with a hero.
I mean, we can do that. Sure, let's do that. I'm not good at sanking.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, we don't have to talk about it. I'm not going to just talk about PA. There's a couple other heroes that
fine. Never mind then. Well, that's a teaser for later. So our segment, I suppose, is going to be on how to get good with one hero, which is something we're both good at, with our various specialties. So what is your approach like? With a hero that you're already well versed in, let's see. How should we approach this? Do you want to do it? Let's say you see a hero
before we record. I thought that you knew this was the segment we were doing because we like literally talked about it last week.
That's okay. Oh yeah, you're right. We did do that. All right.
Yes,
anyway,
on the show even.
Okay. So let's start from a hero that you never play, and you say, all right, I just saw a guy be really good on Puck. I want to become good at Puck. What is your approach to that when you say, like, all right, I need to be good at this hero?
Yeah. Well, okay. So I think this kind of, to me, this is a little more about like creating a personal signature hero kind of thing, and like what you need to do to get there to like, oh man, Matumba man's liking, it's crazy, it's too good, you just gotta ban it. But everyone else is just like, whatever, it's liking. And like, like me with Lone Druid or whatever, you or some hero that I'm sure you're good at. You need to like I feel like more than anything, you need to really like the hero and you need to want to be good at it. You can't just decide like, I'm gonna make OD my signature hero because he's good. Like if you don't like OD, that's not gonna work out. You know, like you gotta see that. You gotta just be excited to look at it and be like, this is gonna be fun. You know what I mean? You gotta. It's got to be an aesthetic experience for you. You can't just get by on good numbers.
Well,
that's step one. I pick someone who I'm like definitely going to want to try really hard at. Because like, I mean, when Lone Druid's good, like, I'll get fucking sick of Lone Druid if I play 5 games of him. But like, I have almost 800 games of Lone Druid now. So if I was just like getting sick every time I played him at this point, like there's probably no other hero in Dota I could play 800 times and still be like excited to play them the next game, right? So you got to pick something that you're actually going to have a shit ton of fun playing a shit ton of.
Okay,
you know I mean?
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, that's always the start. I mean, for me, that usually I get that feeling of like, man, I want to start playing this hero after losing to it or seeing somebody on my team be really good at it. Or even like watching a pro game, I guess. But yeah, so once you've chosen your hero, right, what's your next step in the approach?
If I'm just like starting from scratcho, just try to find other players who are super obsessed with the hero. And normally, I mean, the best way to do that is to just go on Dota Buff, look at the like player rankings, and find people with a ton of games played. You want to try to avoid people where it's like all the games played are in normal, because I don't know, there's a lot of people who just do weird ass shit and they have 1,000 games of normal queue with an absurd win rate with a 5 stack that I just don't give a shit about. But if you see someone who's like, you know, you recognize like from a stream or something, or you've heard of them, or just, you know, they look like pretty good, and if you look at like all their matches are in solo ranked or something, like just see kind of what they do, look at the item builds overall. And just kind of like, just kind of see what other people are doing on it that are actually good at Dota 2. And then, like, you need to start out knowing, like, a build and that sort of thing. And then, you know, like, play it. You know, that's a pretty good place to start. Just play it then.
So is it really just about time commitment rather than, like, about building a foundation of understanding and then just committing a whole bunch of time to feeling out the hero?
I mean, that's like, where you need to start. And then after you've got like a really good understanding of the hero, because like the way that you make a hero is okay. So the things in Dota are so fucking like crazy mad complex and shit that most people's understanding of the things that they are not deeply versed in is at like a fairly base value, right? Like I may say something like, let's say Lone Druid, you got to worry about him like once he gets Entangle, and then after that, don't worry about him till he has like, you know, till he farms up Radiance or something. That's like a cursory like overview that most people's opinion of Lone Druid. Oh, watch out for when he's 5 with Entangle, and then he doesn't really do too much until he gets Radiance. But I'm really good at Lone Druid, and so one of the things that I have up my sleeve is once I'm level 7, I can level up my Bear, and my Entangle is going to like refresh. So I can use the pseudo RNG or an Entangle, prime an Entangle, get an Entangle, level up my Bear, the unit changes up to the next level of Bear, like the unit swaps out, and the Entangle cooldowns refresh. So while the first Entangle is still on them, I can like be hitting them, and my pseudo RNG on my new Bear's Entangle is like ticking up while they're locked in the Bear. So like I know I actually have this really weird secondary timing that comes like a minute later that most people aren't like super aware of, and like knowing that like smaller intricacy and just like having comfort with the hero means that I can find little openings that most people don't know are there. Does that like make sense? Like the more comfy on the hero you are, you can find the strengths of a hero that most people discount when they like, you know, say shit like Sven against Timbersaw. When Sven was like mad popular, I would first pick Sven, people would first pick Timbersaw, and I would just bring like an extra I would bring like a Clarity and a Mango, and I would just beat the shit out of Timbersaw. Like I wouldn't, you know, like let us trade farm and shit. I would just like, I wouldn't even CS. All I would do is right click him while he was still level 1 with my support. Like I wouldn't do anything. And then at level 3, I would get my level 3 or my level 2 Stormhammer, and then again I would just punch him nonstop and, you know, throw 2 or 3 Stormhammers out with my Mango and my Clarity and force him out of lane. Like that's a thing that Sven can do, but if you're not comfortable on Sven, you're not gonna like, if you just look up Dota buff, oh, okay, they 1 point stun, they max cleave, and they max whatever, and then you just like die to Timbersaw and you're really sad when you're just like trying to farm against CS. But like if you're in these situations enough and you're comfortable enough with the hero, you'd be like,
oh, okay, like Sven has 175 damage nuke. He doesn't really need Poor Man's Shield or Quelling Blade that bad. So like, yeah, the Quelling Blade's not really something that's relevant there. You don't really, need a Poor Man's Shield, whatever. So you can't actually buy a bunch of extra mana regen. And maybe you can, and he does a lot of damage level 1, so maybe I can try to leverage this less talked about strength to deal with this like crazy weakness that most people are kind of totally fucked up by. And that's like you see Miracle, and like some of the builds that Miracle does on Anti-Mage are straight up like, oh, Anti-Mage does things besides just like blink and Battle Fury, and then eventually like get Abyssal Manta and then blink Abyssal people. Like he actually can do things with like Silver Edges and fucking Diffusal Blades, and maybe I'll play him in a way that I'll right click someone 4 times and they're just instantly out of mana. Like that's not a thing that most people think to do with Anti-Mage. But once you play him enough, you're like, hey, Diffusal, like there's actually something to just playing him to burn people's mana instead of, trying to just like farm and split push and shit.
Yeah, so basically the general flow of learning is just building a foundation off of other people's play, then playing the hero a whole bunch, and then you are going to start building in the intricacies of the hero, the little things, into your own play, and, potentially picking them up from other people as well, of course. Once you're, like, let's say you're already good at a hero, and then a patch comes, is your preference to first, like not even just a small balance patch, but like a decent sized one? Is your approach to, obviously first, you read it and you look at it yourself and maybe you have your cursory thoughts, but do you look towards what these players that you would have looked at first are doing with the hero now that he or she has changed? Or do you just say, all right, I'm just going to spam a bunch of games and feel it out?
Yeah, I mean, one process takes way less time than the other, right? So like as soon as a Lone Druid patch happens, like I'm probably going to be on the watch, or a patch for whatever hero, I'll probably be on the watch tab, and I'll to types in like search heroes to look for. I'll look for a high MMR game and see if someone's doing some shit. But for the most part, like the people who are highly specialized in one hero are a very small percentage of the player base of that hero for most things, unless it's like like Broodmother. Like not a lot of people play Broodmother besides Broodmother players, and like Chen play. No one's picking Chen unless they randomed it or they're a Chen player, right? So for some things that's okay, but if you just like, hey, I want to be a fucking sick ass Anti-Mage player, like you're just gonna see a standard AM player or someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, who saw a patch note and was like, here I go, this is my idea. I've played this hero 30 times. Like it's generally bad. Like if you know someone is going to be good, then and they have a bunch of games in here, like see what they're doing with it. But I mean, when it's the experimental stage, it's the experimental stage. Like it's good to like think for yourself, and try to figure that shit out. But yeah, I'd say like see what people do, and if it looks like they're winning a lot, or if it makes sense what they're doing, then go for it. But yeah, I mean, definitely like see whether or not you think it's good. There's like nothing in Dota where the answer isn't to check if other people are doing shit better than you or try to find something to steal for you to copy. Like copying what other good players do is how you get good in Dota. Like the second Eternal Envy sees something, like it was like he was like on stream once and he saw something, he's like, oh, I'm gonna steal that. Like that's how you get good at Dota. Like Dota is a fucking like encyclopedia of knowledge that everyone fucking like builds towards, and then the best people are the ones who find all like the best research materials and then like gobble them up into their shitty brains, and then they're good. Like no one knows everything themselves. They just like are able to absorb everyone else's like group gathered information.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I would say so. My experience, like getting good with specific heroes or just committing, like basically, all right. So early in the episode, I was talking about how I want to get good at puck. So my approach to doing that and improving my paltry 18% win rate is now just to go to, honestly, as usual, I will boast or not boast. I will prop up the heroes tab if you go to heroes guides on Dota Buff, and I just look through all the high MMR players playing this hero and then look for commonalities. And that's how I basically build my foundation of, all right, they're prioritizing these kinds of abilities, they're prioritizing these items. If you see abnormalities, then you look and say, all right, why did he go Blink first over Veil, or why did he go Veil first over Blink? Like, all right, well, he had a really good lane and then he ganked, and so he just had 2,200 gold. So then he was like, all right, I'm just going to buy a Blink. Whereas in this game, the same player, he went Veil because he did not have a good lane and he needed to farm, and that made him one-shot all the creep waves.
Yeah.
And you can even see these things, like obviously if you actually download the replay and then look into it, obviously you're going to gain a lot more. But even without
like you'll see something on quick buy and then like something will happen and they change what they're like what's in their quick buy. Like that's important shit that you need to watch.
Yeah, and similarly, watching replays. So earlier in this patch, I was like, all right, I need to learn Offlane Earthshaker because this is being meta now, and I knew it used to be good, but I didn't play it before. I always played roaming Earthshaker. So as much as I, did what I just explained and looked at all that, I didn't gain the intricacies because I was just, glossing for information. Then after watching a couple replays, I was like, oh, okay, so they block at this point. At this thing, they pop a clarity while they're running to meet the creep waves. That way they have full mana, and then they do another one, and it's a whole thing. So that's always, even on heroes that I think I'm decent with, that's always my approach. If I'm ever picking a hero that I haven't picked recently, I'm like, all right, I'm in pick screen. I picked, whatever. I picked Shadow Shaman. Let's look on the guide section, or let's look, wherever. And then after that, I do follow basically the same idea where it's like, all right, I have built this foundation, and then I'm just going to gradually, pick up things as I just play the hero a whole bunch. Again, and neither of us really spam heroes in the sense, like, we're not the types to play, 60 games of, or, Roland's playing 100 games of Axe right now. We're not the types to do that, especially myself. So
I can get maybe 5 Lone Druid games in a day if I'm extremely motivated to do that, but that's, my far, far upper limit.
Yeah, I'll play heroes consistently over a course of time. I'll play it every other game or every few games, but I rarely play a hero more than twice in a row. Like Kunkka, I went on a while where I played 6 Kunkka games in a row. Honestly, other than that, I've almost never spammed a hero in succession. Okay, I mean that's the gist of it for me, at least. I don't know if you have anything additional to add to that. It's one of those things where it sounds simple, but it is very much it's good to know, right? Because I feel like a lot of people get into the rut. I imagine you can attest to this, where they're like, all right, I'm going to get good at Dota, or I'm going to get good at a hero, or I'm going to get good at a mechanic, or I'm going to get good at a role, whatever. And they say, I'm just going to play. And so they play 30 games of Bloodseeker without doing research beforehand or without asking people. And then they come out and maybe, yeah, sure, they're a little better at Bloodseeker, but they've basically spent 30 hours or whatever into just playing a hero without, building that foundation first of saying, all right, I'm playing 30 games of Bloodseeker and I'm going Echo Saber and then Sage and Yasha and then Silver Edge every game or something, whatever.
Yeah. If you spend all your if you spend your time getting good at a way the hero should not be played, then that's going to be kind of a waste of time. If I'm like, oh, I'm going to get good at Offlane Earthshaker and I never block the wave with my Fisher because I just didn't know that that's the thing to do. Grats, you just wasted all your time because Offlane Earthshaker is always going to be in a position where they do not do what the fuck you just did. So the whole thing is basically worthless at that point. So yeah, I mean, go to find a fucking replay or something. God, there used to be this website that, remember Skrunk showed us that would log replays of high MMR players, and you would just type in a hero name and it would just show you every high MMR player who had a replay of that was downloadable. It's
I have Dota no clue what you're talking about.
Shit. Oh my god, it was so good. Anyway, maybe next week I'll say what that website is if I remember. But yeah, it was fucking fantastic. Anyway, yeah, watch tab or something, or just on the heroes and then player rankings and Dota buff, find a match within the last 10 days or whatever, and watch that replay or something. That's definitely a good place to start. And then once you are playing the hero and you feel like you're getting comfy on it, anytime you run into an issue or a counter, the hero is just kind of it's like a sheer wall that you're trying to rock climb, and it's really dark. So you just gotta feel around and try to find any little nook or cranny that was kind of unexplored. You know what? Normally I don't get level 2 Stormbolt, but level 2 Stormbolt would actually kind of help this one situation. But it's dark as shit, so I didn't see that handhold. Yeah, just look for any little thing about the hero you normally wouldn't expect to do, and then try to exploit that as much as possible to cover your little weakness. Anything that people might not, check out. Hey, Lone Druid actually does a shit ton of wild physical damage, and when you press D and when you're in true form, whatever, it adds plus 120 damage to both your units. and no current lone druid build synergizes with that at all, except for at 30 minutes when you build AC. Maybe there's something to build off of that shit. And hey, well, look, we have a new fucking lone druid build, and it just won a game in 20 minutes at fucking like 5.5k.
Okay. I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Great.
All right. So let's get into what I teased earlier, which is going to be our content for the day. And we're going to be picking, or you're going to be picking PA and just first picking it right out of the gate and presumably being countered, because that's what people will hopefully do.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume so, but you never know. And talking about, less specifically about PA, since, we put the hero before, but more specifically about the kind of mentality that you're going to approach the game with after being countered, and with that whole like being forced to first pick thing. As much as we're simulating this, this is obviously a very real situation people are in all the time.
Right.
Okay.
Am I supposed to go or?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I mean, you could. I don't know. Okay, I'll talk about everything. That's fine.
I'm not the one playing PA.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Yeah, so you pick a hero, man, and that's step one.
All right. Tackled. Easy. That's the easiest of the steps.
Good job. Assume. I wasn't ready for this immediately. I'm gonna be honest. Okay. I just did a lot of talking about other things, but no, it's fine. Yeah. So when you're getting countered, and I think we kind of talked a little bit about this earlier, not earlier this episode, but earlier in general. Like, anytime you are like, no matter how shit your team is, if you're winning, you can normally snowball off of it, right? Like, if you have a gold advantage and you're an item up, like, you know what's better than the fact that Lion can hex and, like stun me or something? That I have a fucking like Orchid on Storm Spirit at, I have Bloodstone Orchid at 22 minutes. Like, I don't care if you have a fucking Lion, I'm just gonna ball lightning Orchid and then kill him. Like, it doesn't matter. Same thing with like Disrupt or whatever. So if you're winning and you're just killing motherfuckers and you have a nice roll going, it doesn't matter if like, I'm a fucking snowball and they're a fire. Like, fires normally melt snowballs pretty fast. But if you're fucking Antarctica and they're a match, like, doesn't matter. You still roll over them and they just fucking die.
Uh-huh.
Right? Like, it takes, a lot of man-made phenomena to fuck up Antarctica. Like, a fucking match is not going to do it. Don't let it get to that point. So one of the best things you can do when you're countered is just put all of your effort into like an early snowball. Like, you gotta get yourself a good start. You can't just be like, oh, this lane's gonna fucking suck, guess I'll just suck and then I'll get countered later. Like, that's not really an option. Like, number one thing, put a bunch of shit into your early game. And then from there, you need to kind of like identify what exactly your strong timings and your strengths are. Like, let's say a hero like Anti-Mage is a fine example. Anti-Mage against a Legion commander or something. Like, Anti-Mage does well before Legion gets her blink, and then after Legion gets her blink, it's kind of rough, but then Anti-Mage will do well again once he gets a Linken's. So you're like, all right, I'm gonna have to get as much shit out of the Legion no blink timing, and then from there I'm gonna play careful as fuck until I get the Linken's, and then I play as much as I can out of the Anti-Mage Linken's timing before Legion gets like a Halberd or some shit like that. Like, you need to understand yes, you're countered, but there should be some specific periods of time based on when you get an item and they don't have an item, or some level based things like that, where you can like do a shit ton of work and just like play to that strength completely. Like, the second you get your Linken's, you're like, all right, everyone, let's fight. Like, don't stop farming. Like, I know that Ancient is 5 hits away from dying, but time is of the essence, and we got an item timing right now, and the more we wait, the faster Legion gets something that can cancel my Linken's, and then I'm gonna die again, and it's gonna suck.
Okay, right? So that's fair.
Okay. I don't know, you got something, dude?
Yeah, I mean, so whenever I have to first pick and then I'm just met with a terrible matchup, like continuing with the PA theme, like D2 Bowie talked about a few weeks ago when he was on, if I first pick Invoker, because it's just like, all right, nobody's picking, and then they pick PA, my approach is, all right, I know my lane is going to be bad, so how am I going to resolve the rest of the game? And some heroes, like if you're playing Tinker and you're just getting chain ganked by like Spirit Breaker and like an OD or some crap like that and dying, or like Spirit Breaker or Lena, because OD wouldn't kill you because you just blind him. Then it's like, all right, I just need to, instead of doing like a laser rocket build and being aggro, I'm going to invest heavily in March and then basically go and switch from pushing the lane out and then jungling and then pushing the lane out and then jungling. Yeah. So basically you just have to, triage your way out of a terrible laning situation. But alternatively, if you're in like the situations you described, if your lane is okay, but then you're countered in the mid to late game by, let's say you're playing AM and then they have an LC or a Bloodseeker, then you have to eke out as much as you possibly can in the laning stage and then avoid them at all costs in the mid to late game when you're actually effectively countered. And then once you, like you said, once you get those items to nullify the counter or at least minimize the counter, then you're far better off and everything is peachy keen.
Right, yeah, it's not so much about, like, you're not just countered generically, right? There is a specific time when you are countered, and ideally, and in most circumstances, there is at least some period of time where you are not countered. So the idea is you have to play, like, absurdly, conservatively, and safe on the timings where you are countered, and like minimize your losses as much as possible. And then when you are like not countered, that's when you play like fucking balls out crazy and shit. Like if I have an awful lane on Sven as against a Timbersaw or something, like all my aggro stuff didn't really work. And, Timbersaw just for whatever reason, like my support fucked up, or I, missed a stun on a fucking creep or something in the TI3 TI3 qualifiers or whatever, and stunned a boar or some shit like that. Then I'm just going to be like, all right, I'm just going to like sit under my tower. And then once it gets too hard to sit under my tower, even if I just have like brown boots and 700 gold, I'm just going to walk to the jungle and start killing medium camps until I get my Morbid Mask? Is that what it's called? Mask of Death? I think it's Morbid Mask. Anyway, I'm just going to get my Lifesteal Mask thing.
It used to be Mask of Death.
Yeah, I always get and then like Mask of Murder I don't actually think is anything.
I think that's from Han.
Yeah, I thought that was War 3, but no.
Well, War 3 had the one with the leeches, right?
What?
It was like maybe it was a flavor text. I was like, oh, it's like a mask made of leeches.
I don't know anything about that one.
I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional. Regardless, you buy that item.
Yeah, and anyway, yeah, so, like, even if shit looks like, if you know this is the time where you're gonna get fucked up, just, like, minimize how fucked up you get. Like, yes, you're countered, just try to just not be dead. As long as you're not dead, that's a plus. Passive gold is awesome. Just don't fucking feed if you're countered, right? Like, that's the idea. Just survive until you've got a nice little peeky peek, and then peek all over them.
All right, so with this PA that we're first picking, I'm going to be playing Sand King, presumably as a 4. And we chose Sand King, 1, because he's pretty meta right now. He's quite a strong hero. He's been a strong hero for what, like 6 months, 8 months, maybe like a year.
I don't know.
He's good for a while.
That long, but he was absurdly good, and we called him the best hero in the game repeatedly. Yeah. And then the role of 4 kind of changed up to a lot more stuff, and then 5s also, or rather like 3s and 4s just kind of like changed up in a big way. And now it's kind of the pendulum has swung back. A lot of the good 3s got nerfed, a lot of the good 4s got nerfed, and now it's like, hey, Sand King all day, bro. Like, it's great. He's fucking awesome. So yeah, he's good against the 3s, 4, whatever. He can jungle and shit. It's good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm going to be playing Sand King. Admittedly, I don't play a ton of Sand King, so I was actually doing some research as we go. And of course, I've seen tons and tons of Sand King in my games. I will probably be playing him as a 4. I can offlane him, obviously, if need be. But the idea behind this was Sand King plus PA is nice because PA requires, or at least wants, to have a initiation. And also, Sand King provides some team fight, and
a lot of team fight.
Yes,
I would say some of them. Who provides more team fight than Sand King? Do you even know?
Enigma, Magnus. I don't even know if Magnus is true, actually.
Yeah, like,
that's like debatable.
Sand King has a fucking sweet ass stun and damage ulti.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty up in there. I'd say
Sand King's dope.
Yeah, Sand King's great.
Anyway, go on.
But yeah, so I'm going to be... Well, we're playing this because I'm going to range initiate and then provide some of the team fight, because it is such a big advantage to have team fight coming out of a support, whereas normally you have your team fight out of like your offlaner, sometimes your mid or sometimes your safe laner, I suppose. But generally it's from that offlaner, so it's one of the reasons why Warlock is good, right? Like, all right, I can get team fight not only from my offlane whatever, but also from my 5 position or 4 position Warlock. That's just a huge boon because other 5s and 4s are not going to do that, right? Your Oracle or your Rubik kind of does, or like your Lena support are not providing team fight, right? That's just not a thing they do. So that's a big advantage to Sand
Yeah, and like as far as personal hero synergies go, I mean, PA is an absurdly mobile carry. She has a really long blink built into her and like 1,200 range dagger. So she's super mobile. Sand King also probably one of the most mobile heroes in the game, especially once you like take that Ags into consideration. So the idea that we can both kind of get in out of nowhere and burst someone. And also the team fight, like PA works really well with a lot of Discord. One of the things I really like about Dota is a lot of heroes actually do play a lot like their theme. Like PA is honestly just a fucking ninja. Like you go in, you get out real quick. As soon as someone's not looking at you, like you go slit someone's throat and then you blink back out or whatever. Like that's how the heroes play it. And when Sand King's able to like blink and there's epicenter and then he stuns and then he turns invisible, like that's a lot of fucking confusion. Like he's doing a lot of different things, and somewhere in there you can find like a fucking opening to burst through and like kill someone and then get out.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so that's that. You can't secure my lane at all.
No, I cannot.
Which is you can a little bit, but I mean, not really. Especially with that last
nerf Caustic.
Yeah, since that Caustic nerf where it does 20 damage instead of like fucking 45 or whatever now. You're going to be much worse at securing my lane, which is a really hard. Which like, I mean, PA needs support in lane. Like PA can kill a lane with extra support. That's one of the things she's good at, but she can't win a lane on her own, right? Like she takes kind of like Queen of Pain. Like one of Queen of Pain's strengths as a mid isn't so much that she can just like solo kill anyone. It's that as soon as there's even like the slight hint of an opportunity, she can seize it. But if PA is getting fucked up, like there's never gonna be an opportunity because like I'm the one getting opportunities at. Like they're fucking killing me. I'm not like if I go down to 10% health, it doesn't matter if I can seize an opportunity. There ain't gonna be one, and there ain't gonna be one with you unless we have a sweet ass support. So God willing.
Okay. Makes perfect sense to me. So we don't even need to talk about itemization, do we? Like PA itemization has not changed. Sand King, you still just build a bunch of mobility.
Over under on me building Vlad's this game.
Let's see. Well, you're safe lane, so
I'm probably gonna play safe lane.
I'd say the odds are not great that you're gonna build Vlad's.
Yeah, probably 0.
Yeah, there's like a 10% chance, if that.
No,
so
it's if I'm safe lane, it's 0. I'll just tell you.
Okay, I'm down for it. That was a pretty cheeky bet if you knew the answer already.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe I'd be mid or something.
Yeah, I mean maybe you'll go mid, but I doubt it because you're gonna be first picking, so they're not gonna pick like some unfavorable matchup unless they do.
I'm already doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna hop into our game. You can watch our VODs on youtube.com/.ptv1, and we are going to be back after the interlude with hopefully songs of victory. All right, hello everybody. We are back. We have just completed our game. It was I wouldn't call it a wild ride, Proud. I would definitely not call it that ever. Yeah. But it was definitely a back and forth. It's not a back and forth game either.
It was a shit and then good.
Yeah. It was a very simple game where we lost for a while and then we won and then we kept winning and then the game was over.
We were doing bad and then we came back.
We did end up winning, and I think it was a good game to showcase kind of how miserable it is to be countered, and then how to deal with it, and also why Sand King PA is good. So first off, let's just break right into just talking about the picks. We'll do it in order. So the enemy team had first pick, so we did not technically first pick our PA. The enemy team, though, they had, I would say, great godlike intuition, and they first picked Slark. And Slark is typically, if you picked PA first, Slark would be a common response, right? He's a natural.
I could first pick, like, if someone picks PA, I'll pick Slark right there and be pretty happy about it. I mean, they'll pick an Axe or a Timbersaw offlane, and then I'll be upset. But beyond that, like, yeah, sure. Slark, if they have PA, I don't give a shit. I'll play Slark.
Yeah. It's a common, as a very quick tangent, when you're looking at, like, picking in pubs, a lot of times you can pick so long if you're playing a core, you can pick so long as you know what you're playing against. So if while it would be uncommon to first pick a carry, if they reveal their carry first, you can more comfortably pick a carry really early. Whereas if they do not reveal their carry until 5th pick, it's a lot. You want to hold your carry pick until 5th pick. Same thing with like mid matchups, especially.
It's like even if they do counter you, you know at least for a fact that once it gets to late game, you will counter their carries. Like no matter what happens by late game, you're probably just gonna win it straight out. So like they may counter pick you a little bit. You can also counter pick them in the same way. If they pick their carry, you pick a carry that counters it. Like you're ahead. Yeah,
it makes sense. So then you pick PA, right? And so we already are slightly disadvantaged, but that's the whole game plan, right?
That's the idea.
Then they respond with a Coddle pick, and Coddle quite strong against PA as well. If you want to go into that quick.
Yeah, so Coddle...
Or not quick. You could take forever.
Nah, I'm good. So Coddle's got the blind that really sucks against PA. PA wants to like get in there and kill everyone. PA is pretty nice against people who have like long cast times or something, or they need to turn around to cast their spells, like anything that gives her an extra second or two to just get the kill out. But if Coddle's in ulti form, which he almost always is during a fight, he doesn't even have to find PA, even if like all this destruction and like chaos and confusion is being sown by my Sand King. All Coddle has to do is press little light bulb button and click the ground, and then everything blows up. I'm pushed away. I already used my blink to get in, so now I have to like run, and I'm also missing for however many seconds. So yeah, that fucking sucks. And also like PA has a blink, but she also just likes to move. Like she builds phase boots because she's a person who moves. And mana drain is good against that. Mana leak rather is good against people who like to move. And PA is a hero that like your spells don't cost a lot of mana, but you're balanced around that. PA is almost always operating at like mana par. Like you almost always have just enough mana to do what you want to do, and then you have just enough mana regen to fill what you need to. Like there's no extra budget PA puts into mana regen. Right?
Yeah,
she's not like a Slark with Echo Saber or a Sven with Echo Saber. Like the mana's not just always coming back. It's just like that's your mana and you're gonna use it and it's all you need and it's all you're gonna get. But against the Coddle, it's like if I go down some mana, like that net mana's never coming back. It's just gone.
Yeah. So my pick is next. I pick Sand King, of course, and I don't like playing Sand. I mean, so in this game, I noticed I didn't like playing Sand King against Coddle simply because he's super, super fast, and I cannot bully him with Caustic, and also he can outrun my Burrow Strikes. Yep. And that was not a huge issue, but quality of life-wise, like I started with a Windlace, and Coddle also started with a Windlace, and he was like 25 movement speed or something faster than me. So I couldn't bully the Coddle as much as I would normally like to bully an offlaner or any offlane duo or whatever. So that was a minor inconvenience, and also mana drain does suck. But when he would mana drain me, I would either just stand still because I can tank it decently, or in the mid to late game, if there were other people, I would just Sandstorm, and then it's like, I pop 60 mana, but I can just wait out the rest of the
and being invisible is cool anyway. Like of course you want a Sandstorm. Like, it's great.
Exactly.
Does Blinding Light push you out of? Do you stop doing your Sandstorm if you get Blinding Lighted?
No, it doesn't interrupt, so it just pushes you. I don't know if your Sandstorm moves with you.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
I don't think it does either, which is silly, but whatever. One of those weird interactions.
Great. Well, I'm glad I learned that. Thank you.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember. It did happen in this game, but I'm pretty sure I like ended my Sandstorm anyway, or to like run away or whatever. So I can't say 100%.
I'm just not sure.
Anyway, okay, so Slark also playing Sand King against Slark is great because I can Burrow Strike out of his pounce range, just similar to like a Blink or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's nothing terribly good against playing against Slark. There were a couple times where...
Oh no, dude, that's awesome. Like you have like a shit ton of AoE magic damage and an AoE stun, and you're saying you're not great against Slark?
Oh, no. I mean, there's nothing that I'm really worried about Slark. That's what I meant.
Nothing worried about. Well... Okay, because that was confusing because you said a good thing and then you said, but there's nothing else I'm really worried about. And the else implied that the thing that you said was something you're worried about, which that wouldn't make sense, Sam.
No, that's fair. The only thing that was annoying was there was once or twice where I did try to like pop in on the Slark and he just had his Dark Pact up, which is his fault for not having the expensive cosmetic because that makes it really obvious when Dark Pact is running and I would not have wasted my abilities. So... that's about that for those first 4 picks. Let's continue going on. So their next pick was Venomancer, which was super annoying, for me at least. I don't know about you. but because it stopped me from blinking entirely. I guess we'll get farther into that when we talk about the actual game. So then next pick was Crystal Maiden for our team. So rounding out our support duo as Sand King Crystal Maiden, which was not great. Then on their team, they fourth picked, what was it?
The
Rubik.
Sandstorm does move with him, and it does not interrupt it.
Oh, it moves with him. That's good. That's intuitive.
Cool.
So they fourth pick a Rubik, which ends up being a middle lane Rubik because we were kind of curious because they did pick Coddle, Venomancer, and Rubik all at once. Right. And you don't Coddle's pretty common as an offlane duo lane support. It's very effective in a lot of
I mean, he can 5 anywhere. That's not
exactly
common.
And Venomancer, we see Venomancer mid sometimes, we see Venomancer core sometimes, but obviously they already did Slark, so that was a little contentious at best. And then Rubik mid is uncommon, but it does happen occasionally. Also, this guy was really high MMR. He was I think it was 5400 party. So who knows? When something like that picks something, you just got to go with it. So then our fourth pick was an Underlord offlane. Proud in our draft you talked about this, but you said that you hate having an Underlord on your team unless you have a Sand King. Can you go a little deeper into that draft wise?
Sure. Yeah. So Underlord is honestly a really good hero. He's just, it's not quite do nothing hero territory, but it's at the point where Underlord does really good things, but they're not the qualities, they're not the I guess tools that you typically expect to get out of an offlaner. So some other hero needs to take care of that hole, right? And the things that he does aren't specific roles that other. It's not I pick Abaddon offlane. Okay, so I don't need a 5 that's a save hero. So instead of Dazzle, I can just get Lion or some shit like that. Underlord's not like that. Underlord gives a bit of it's not skirmish control and disable, but it's not team fight, or rather control and damage. It's somewhere in between. It's it's specially tuned for 3 and 4 man fights, right? It's this weird middle space. So he does these cool things, but doesn't do anything in particular. He doesn't do what you would want an offlane Clockwork or Centaur, or a classic Axe or Magnus or whatever. He doesn't have the blink stun, right? He doesn't have a single disable you can't BKB out of. But if you have a Sand King, Sand King can do the blink disabling for you, and unlike a hero like an Earthshaker or a Lion once again, or I guess maybe you could say Earth Spirit to a degree, but any of these 4s who are kind of blink disabler, or Slardar, I guess as well, Sand King is the 4 that is most guaranteed to be able to get to that farm just purely from the fact that you can jungle. So if you do have, and the reason that you want a blink disabler in your offlane is because they're a 3, so they're going to get more farm, so they're definitely going to have the blink disable, the blink team fight. And a team that doesn't have any blink disable or blink team fight just fucking sucks. So if if your 4 just can't farm, if your Shaker just has a shit game and he's stuck on Tranquil Mana Boots for 18 minutes, you're never gonna come back. But with a Sand King, you can have a shit game like we did, and you're still gonna get your blink dagger. No matter what, you're going to hit that point, and we're going to have that role that an offlaner would typically fill for a team. It's gonna be fulfilled no matter what. And the Underlord can be free to do his stupid ass Underlord shit and put out a ton of absurd damage or absurd percentage damage and crazy control and that weird teleport thing and nerf everyone else's damage. It's just perfect. He does everything that Sand King does everything you need an offlaner to do, or that you would typically want an offlaner to do, from the support position with 100% or very close to 100% effectiveness. And then Underlord, this hero that doesn't fulfill any roles that you expect from a hero on any team, then he's just free to do whatever you want.
Yeah, also, I mean, again, thinking about Sand King with his AoE, the Underlord also is quite good against Slark in that he has all these AoE disables, his Root Pit of Malice, and then he also has tons of AoE damage, which I wasn't obviously in his lane, but watching that matchup, once the Venomancer started roaming around, the Underlord got tons of farm and really bullied that Slark just by spamming Rain of Fire on him.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that was a big boon.
That's a matchup. I've played a bit of Underlord in ranked. It's just really hard if I don't ever have, if we have 2 5s in our team and I'm an Underlord, I'm well, we lose. Like, we're just not going to do anything this game. But if, you do have like a Sand King or Earthshaker or Spirit Breaker are fine if they're having a decent game. But yeah, like Underlord against Slark, fucking absurd. And Slark is almost all like base damage, right? Like he gains a lot of damage from Essence Shift. Yeah, he has damage from like Echo Saber and Silver Edge, but that's kind of like, it's not a lot of plus damage coming out of those. Most of his damage is going to come from like the Scotty and shit that he gets later. Or whatever items. They're just like his spells and stuff. But as far as his right click, it's all damage that's coming out of that Essence Shift in his stats. So the percent that Underlord chips off of that, super, super, super good.
Yeah, so then the 5th pick for their team was a Faceless Void, which ended up as an aggro duo with the Coddle. And then the 5th pick from our team was Ember Spirit. And so this basically means that our safe lane was a tri-lane of PA, Sand King, Crystal Maiden against a duo lane of Coddle, Faceless. The mid matchup was Rubik versus Ember Spirit, and the off lane for us was Underlord versus Slark and Venomancer, and the Venomancer ended up roaming quite a bit. So let's just go over our laning phase pretty quickly, because that was definitely the part of the game that was difficult, and let's talk about why it was difficult and why it did not need to be difficult.
Sure.
All right, so from the get-go, we have, in this matchup, the first thing we have to think about is, all right, who can we kill, who can we not kill, and how do we contest this aggro duo, right? Because they're committing 2 heroes here, so we have to basically even it out by killing them or denying them tons of XP. So they made it basically, or between them and our CM, they made it basically impossible for us to pull, because we'd either pull and they would interrupt it, or the CM would eat our creeps and then we had nothing to pull, because the CM was significantly lower MMR in this game, and it kind of showed. But it worked out eventually, so we can't grudge her too much.
Another thing about like these heroes is like CM and Sand King are both really good, and they can work together great on a team. But you run into big it's like having a anti-mage and a Shadow Fiend on the same team, only for your supports. Like both of you want to jungle. Like you want to stack in jungle, and Crystal Maiden wants to fuck off from the lane in jungle. And that, like, you can't both do that if we're getting pressured at all. And I'm a PA, like, I can't solo a lane. That's just not a thing that PA does.
Yeah.
So, like, anytime you go up against someone who has Crystal Maiden Sand King, which is, like, not uncommon, just draft an aggro duo or aggro try. And, like, part of Sand King's balance is that he can jungle. Part of CM's balance is that she can jungle. If you don't let them jungle, like, all you're doing, like I said last week, if you're not letting a hero take advantage of their, like, take advantage of their advantages. Yeah, take advantage of their strong points. All they're going to be left with is their weak points, which for CM is definitely laning against an aggro lane. And for Sand King is definitely a Coddle with a Windlace who Sam can never land a fucking Burrow Strike on.
Yeah, I did eventually. So
you did get one at some point.
We killed him a couple times, but so we very quickly outlined basically the way we win this lane and bring it back is by just killing the Coddle. And Faceless Void we did kill, I think, twice, I want to say, but he's a much harder kill than Coddle. Even though Coddle is fast, like we have slows and we have stuns and all that.
I have a slow and I have a blink, and we have a slow. CM has a slow and a stun and a slow, or a root, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a slow and 2 things that stop him from moving. So that's, when like who gives a shit? You're slowed, you're fucking dead, and you have like 200 health max.
Yeah. So that theoretically is how we win the lane, and we did get kills on both these people. We had some hiccups along the way just because they played super aggressive and we were not in position to kill the Coddle a couple times, mostly just because. So Burrow Strike at level 1 is really low range. Even at level 2, it's pretty low range still. So we really needed all 3 of our heroes to be in unison to kill these these people.
Needed, me to throw a dagger, and then CM freezes, and then you get in range to do whatever. But that's a level of coordination that someone who has a void bashing in their face is not capable of.
Yeah, so a couple times we missed out on kills because of the CM, and we had a few hiccups here and there. The Faceless Void did end up getting a Midas at 14 minutes after also having Tread's PMS Magic Stick. So he didn't do great, but we could have contested better if we were a little more coordinated.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
he only got the Treads finished at 18 minutes.
Oh, well, okay, so he had the Glove of Haste. Yeah.
Yeah, the glove was for the Midas.
Yes, you're right. But so that was laning phase basically. It was like you didn't have great CS, you said, but
no, I had like 45 CS at 11 minutes 45 seconds. Like as far as net worth goes, we were actually even the entire game. Not like individually, but like the teams were actually pretty even. So like although our lane wasn't going that great and other things weren't going great, just the pure amount of farm that we were getting was somehow good. Kind of weird.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we managed to get some things in other lanes. The mid matchup didn't go great for the Ember Spirit. Like, Rubik is just a weird mid matchup for basically anybody. And it's very atypical. Like, you're just not used to playing against it, even if you are a mid player. I know on the rare occasion that I've run up against Rubik mids, it's just very jarring because I'm like, all right, if this was like Quap, I would know how Quap plays, but you're not familiar with the Rubik mid matchup. So Ember Spirit, yeah, I mean, like, have you played against Rubik mid? It's just so awkward. It spams you constantly. It's brutal. It's actually
it's got like 40 damage.
Yeah, but he goes null and his damage is decent. But then he just spams Fade Bolt at you and you deal no damage. And he trades with you.
It's not that bad.
It's pretty bad. It depends on the matchup, of course, but it's not fun to play against.
Sorry, I just said it's not that bad, and you said it's pretty bad, and I was...
I think it's pretty bad.
Right, but I was saying his damage is not that bad, and you said it's pretty bad as in the matchup. So it's like, we're using two different usage of the words while agreeing, and I wanted to make that clear.
English language is a marvel.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Rubik starts with 49. I guess, no, dude, that's bad. That's weak damage. Rubik has weak damage. You at least have to agree with me on that.
No, okay, that's fair. Like, he has average to low damage. But the thing is that Fade Bolt reduces the opponent's damage, so you end up having more damage than them, like, consistently. And
oh, man, I don't know why. I thought Fade Bolt reduced your damage by a percentage. No, it's just fucking 20. It's just straight up 20. Holy shit.
That's
pretty good.
It's pretty annoying to play. I think last time I played this matchup, I played a Shadow Fiend versus Rubik game. And he just spammed me with Fade Bolt. He got an early bottle, and then Fade Bolt's cheap enough that once you have bottle, as long as you have like lucky runes, you can literally spam Fade Bolt on every wave and just push them under their tower and brutalize them.
It's pretty expensive. It's 120, and then it goes up to 150, 10 mana increase each time. But I mean, yeah, the damage reduction is brutal.
Yeah. So that was really not fun for that Ember Spirit. Clearly, he ended up pulling it out. He did also do a physical damage build. But yeah, so let's talk about let's talk about how we pulled this game into a winning state for us, because the big problem for us in the early game was, much as our lane was like kind of weird, Rubik got off to a crazy start. I think he had like a 7 kill streak at some point, and he was just rotating around in that first probably 10-15 minutes, and he was just rotating around. He got like every rune, I think, for 10 minutes in a row, and he made some real issues for us, and we also kind of played stupid and fed him. By we, I mean CM, but
yeah, there was a couple instances of that. That game is definitely an interesting one to watch. I will say honestly, but yeah. So to pull it back, like, okay, so like the state of the game was they were focusing on us a lot, and although Underlord did bad at the start, he came back, and I mean, like, once you get a few levels in Underlord, like once you get that second point in Aura, I guess in my opinion, I don't really know how this guy's skilled, and then you get a couple points in your Q. Like once you're I like 2-1-2 on Underlord a lot, just because the Aura scales so great on that second point. But yeah, once you get there, like, you can beat anyone 1v1 basically.
Yeah.
And he did get there, and then Slark was very upset, and they were like focusing on rotating on us. But we kind of we played pretty safe, and we managed to pull it back from there. I don't know. You should talk about it. I like the way you talk about everything, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, we basically just had a lot of awkward trading where like we would lose our carry, but we'd kill 2 of their supports.
No.
What?
I literally didn't die.
Okay, well, you had to go back to base at least at one point.
I may have died once early game because I feel like I had you 2 deaths total rather. I probably did. You're right.
I feel like we traded you for Rubik at one point in a fight at top
there was
lane
a time
under tower.
when they came up, and we traded me for Rubik.
Yeah, they rotate like 4 or 5 people up to our lane multiple times. They were really dedicated to messing with us.
Anyway, like I was 3-0 at like 11 minutes though. So like the main thing was I played super safe in lane, and though we were like trading and the lane was getting harassed, like I just made sure that I didn't die. Like I had 45 CS, but I had 3 kills. So like whatever.
It evened out. But so the big thing for us was that in the mid game we really hit our stride. I would say right around the timing where I got my Blink Dagger at 1950, and you had Hood and almost had your Desolator in the next 5 minutes around that. let's actually talk, because the whole purpose of this was you getting countered. So their team, as a team countering you, is that they have a natural silver edge carrier and they have a boatload of magic damage. And traditionally the counter to PA is magic damage. You shut her down early, that way she can't build a BKB, or she has to build a super early BKB and does no damage, whatever. So you built a really early hood, which I am a huge fan of, and it really panned out for you. Let's talk a little bit about that rationale.
Sure, yeah. So I was just going back and looking at the game, and so the time that I did die, I was like running back from that kind of like very weird. They were like taking her tier 1, and I was like, this sucks, I'm just gonna leave. And then I was like under the tower, and Rubik just like, he walks up and then burrow strikes me, lifts, fade bolts, and then Dagons. And as soon as that happens, I'm like, okay, if I just got my stick charge off, I would have lived there. So I know for a fact that like Rubik is snowballing hard, and he poured all that advantage into a Dagon just on the hope that he could take this advantage and just give the shit out of our entire team. So I knew that if their dude who kind of falls off, if I just like cut that shit out like before spells leave his mouth, I've just got like fucking sick ass cloaks all over me and nothing happens, I know I'll be okay. And I'm against a Venomancer too, and like a Coddle and Slark doesn't actually do that much right click damage for a while, so even if he does get Silver Edge, like I'll still be okay. I won't be totally stripped of all my defenses. And then even Void, like a decent amount of his damage early on is from the time lock. So I identified what they were doing. I identified the way that they intended to stop me, and I like rushed to the first item that could kind of that could really stop that. I was considering just getting like a really early BKB, but then I would still just go like Deso BKB. And it's like, no, it's not really going to be good. One of the main issues with Hood is that it's a survivability item that actually just doesn't give you any HP. So if you have 500 health, having the magic damage that you take is still going to be worse than what? How expensive is Hood? It's like 1,000,
like 1,800 gold.
Yeah, 1,800 gold or something. Yeah, so like in an Ogre Club is
1,000.
Is 1,000 gold and it's 200 health. So and what? Yeah, so like unless you have like about 1,000 health, like a couple Ogre Clubs or an Ogre Club and a half or something will make you survive longer. Yeah, you'll survive longer against pure magic damage if you just have more health than if you have magic resist on a shitty health pool. And PA obviously is a pretty shitty health pool, but because I knew that I was gonna get the 150 health talent, I was like, okay, so I can plan this build out. I already built an Aquila and a wand, so I have like +7 strength now. I'm gonna get the level 10, another 150 health. So my health pool is actually gonna be big enough that I can in fact just survive through a shit ton of bursts. And what they have to work with to kill me, there's gonna be like a Slark engage, and then Slark has only a finite amount of time to kill people. It's the jump in, and then once you notice him, and then the shadow dance. And then that's like all the time he has to kill you. Void, it's just during the Chronosphere. The only thing they can do inside of Chronosphere is magic damage. Coddle is just going to throw like one Illuminate into the Chronosphere, and that's going to be his contribution. Veno's just going to have his ulti, and then after that it's just wards that I'm evading anyways. And then fucking Rubik has a goddamn fucking Fade Bolt and the Dagon and probably a bunch of Ember skills. So it's just pure fucking magic damage. I'm like, all right, if I can just deal with this magic burst, like my damage doesn't matter, and I can pull through.
Well, yeah. Also, you have the active from the Hood too, which is what is there like another 200 HP?
I think it's 400.
No, it's not 400.
I think it's something like that.
325. So split the middle.
Okay, cool.
That's way more than I thought it was.
200. 200 is a small number.
Yeah, you're right.
Pipe is 400, right? Pipe is 400 and Hood is a bit less. But yeah, anyway, I was like, okay, that's the only damage. And then also, as we said before, like the way to win Dota 2 right now is just to not die. Like as long as you just don't die, you're good. And PA also, like, she doesn't have any life regen things besides her level 15 lifesteal. And that's why some people get Vlad's. But this was like obviously not a fucking Vlad's game. Like if I got that, I would just be a squishy PA that then had lifesteal, which really doesn't fucking help anything. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna need to farm. I know I can't fight these people without a Hood. Hood gives me health regen so that I can farm. Like I fucking did Ancients as like a level 8 PA just because I had life regen and shit. And yeah, it was just good. I just got life regen. I made sure they couldn't burst me, and that was like literally every issue solved all at once.
Yeah. Okay, so at this point, I just want to talk about how we kind of turned this game clearly into our advantage, because that was, I would say, like the game was very easy after a certain point, but we had to turn the tides at that certain point, right? So instead of talking about the late game, which was basically just us like killing them over and over again, in the mid game, we hit our item timings really well, and we started taking fights at our advantage. Whereas in the early game, they were setting the pace, right? They had these aggro lanes; they're just running heroes at us.
Right.
So I would say I got my blink dagger at, let's see the exact timing, 1948, and then you had your deso at 2341, right? So you and I both had item timings coming out there. We had a mechanism come out at 16. And then some other minor items at other people.
Yeah, Greaves also came at 22, like right when my desk
Yes. Yeah, and our Ember Spirit had BOTs and a Blade Mail and an Aki. So we were pretty well situated at this 20-ish minute point, and that's when we took control of the game, right? We started rotating our heroes really hard around and forcing fights that were to our advantage. We pretty clearly took vision advantage because they had pretty obvious ward spots in a lot of cases, and they were not good at dewarding. So we kind of just took I think we took, let's see, like, I want to say 2, maybe 3 fights near mid tier 1 because they were trying to slow push it with Venomancer.
That was like the main thing as far as turning the fight back in their favor. Like, we identified that we weren't shit until our items, but we were going to be good with them. So all we did is we warded up defensively. We made sure we were defending our tier 1s, and we just like didn't get caught out. And then we just like if you look the net worth, it's like pretty much even. And as far as CS goes, like, I have a bunch of kills and shit, but if you look at the Underlord and the Ember, like, they just have more CS than I do, like way more. Like I've like 200 or some, and they both have like, over 260. And if you're 2 and you're 3 have more farm than your like safe laner who is just like AFK farming until they get their core items, like, you know that there's a lot of like avoidance and shit going on. So we just like we split pushed, we de-pushed waves. We caught a couple kills with people that overextended too much, but like basically they were ahead, they had an advantage, and they felt the pressure to do shit to us. And we just like turtled the fuck up and be like, yeah, we have 2 tier 1s up, and you got to take them because otherwise you're not doing anything right now. And they felt like they had to counter us, so they just like took a bunch of kind of ill-advised fights and threw like our counter items that we had, and just like being a little tankier than they ever expected, and like they just kept trying to get us to fight, and we just said like no continually. Like eventually they slipped up.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we didn't need to talk about like super specifics in these fights, but it was basically just we angled well and we took advantages, and so their itemization, I think, like, we hit this perfect point at this 20-ish minutes where their itemization was bad and they were reaping the consequences, and our itemization was good. And so basically their slight advantage early, they misspent, I would say, their money. And then we spent our money efficiently and took a few good fights, and that completely turned the game in our direction. And they honestly had no chance after, I would say, that like 25-minute mark, once we had taken a few fights and all situated ourselves good.
Yeah. No, talking about their itemization is actually super, super, like, I don't know, I want to say like poignant or something, but it's definitely like the thing to look at. In terms of, it's kind of like counterpicking heroes, sort of, only with counterpicking items. Obviously, you want to get an item as soon as you can, but if you misread the state of the game, it can fuck you up completely. Like, I could see, like, we thought we were behind that whole game just because we kept, like, all of our important people kept dying, and every fight that we went for just was, like, a catastrophe. And the only kills that we got were ones where it was just, like, how the fuck did we even, like, we died here, and of course we got a return kill, but, like, how did we even die there? It should have been an easy, like, 2-0, and instead it's, like, 2 for 2. Or, 2 for 1 or something. Like, Rubik fucking killing me under my tower. Like, what the under my tier 2 tower, just walking up there. Like, how did that happen? So it looked like we were doing bad, but it was actually okay. So they kind of misread. They thought they were more ahead than they were. The Slark was like, oh shit, I'm just going to farm. I'm going to get a fucking Echo Saber first. PA is shut down with our aggro lane. We starved her farm. I don't need the Silver Age immediately. I'm just going to go mad farming and 5-manny with the Echo Saber. The Faceless is like, sick, I'm doing great. I'm going to pick up this Midas. I have all the time in the world. I'm just going to scale. Coddle did kind of whatever. I mean, rushed Ags, whatever. Veno did Veno things, just like win a pipe. Like, okay, I just want to make sure we don't lose this team fight. All they got left is a ton of magic damage with Sand King and Underlord and Ember, and that's correct. Like, I'm the only physical. Like, that's a pretty decent item to go. And then the Rubik thought, oh, I'm hella ahead. I'm just gonna get this Dagon and burst everyone. And then we kind of saw that. And even if we didn't really see it, like, we knew that we had a timing and we knew that we were going to hit it. So because they thought they were super ahead and they went for these greedier things, we just played to our one timing as best as we could. And like the fact that they went as greedy as they did made it so that we like, it was certain that our timing would be effective. Like, it was almost good that we lost enough that they, or not even lost, but we looked bad enough that they went greedier items. And then just like as soon as we hit our timing, like they were maybe 2 or 3 minutes from their next set of items right as soon as we got our first set, and we just like wiped them 3 times because we had boom to aggression and they were like, you know, passively farming.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I mean, so do you have any last comments before we close this out? I think
I don't know if you fucking saw that, dude, but I didn't get hit with a single chrono and I fucking killed like everyone.
Nice. Yeah, I also didn't get chronoed ever.
Synergy.
Also, there was that one time where Faceless Void tried to solo chrono you top, and I killed him as he was casting chrono.
That was great.
That was great.
He got the chrono off too, so it went on cooldown. But it was like during the travel of your burrow strike. Like, that's some fucking Dota 2 shit.
Yeah, I think that was his first chrono of the game too, which is the most demoralizing stuff in the world. I was just
like killing him, and then he's like, "I'm just gonna chrono and get out," and you're like, "Got him."
Yep.
But yeah, so so talking about playing against counters, so obviously there's all like the basic shit, but this reminds me of another game that I was playing with the Me Mansion people, and I was a PA against an axe, and I knew like I was doing great, but you know what happens if you do great and an axe blink calls you with a blade mail? Like, the being great turns back in on you and you just die. And it's kind of the same thing with this Faceless Void and with the Venomancer and the Slark even. So I just like didn't do shit until everyone blew their load. Like, I know that I can be countered. I know that I can be chronoed through BKB and everything. So I just opted to refuse to do anything. And then after you did your like Blink Initiation or Underlord, you know, got someone, after there was some confusion, Void would have to use his chrono at some point, and then as soon as he did, I would just like blink over it and hit the Rubik, and I bought a Diffusal Blade as soon as the Rubik bought a Ghost Scepter, so again, you know, countering them with items. It's a really big thing. Like, this is something I was just talking to my friend Michael, who just started getting back into Dota. Like, if you're playing an important hero and you need to do things in a fight, like, don't do a bad initiation. Like, don't accept anything less than perfection in terms of what you're going to like fight on. Like,
yeah,
if you're playing Sven, don't just blink in and stun and then, oh no, I got stunned back. That sucks. I didn't kill anyone. Like, that's not acceptable. Like, you're not allowed to just not kill everyone. Like, if you're a carry, the reason that carries are good and the reason that carries are carries is a carry is a hero that has a absurdly high chance to deliver their net worth and convert it like straight up into damage. So if you're not able to turn your net worth into kills 100% of the time, you are playing your hero wrong, like, just straight up. PA is able to do that because I can wait till fucking whatever, and then I can blink in from fucking outer space and then throw Desos and Diffusal Blades and have like BKB up on and shit. So I mean, that's what you have to do as a core. Like, if you're not converting your levels or your gold into straight up kills, like, you're doing it wrong. And if you're taking an initiation that's going to give you a 30% chance to not convert your gold into kills, well, then your team's net worth just like dropped by 12k for no fucking reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I had fun on Sanking exactly for that reason, where it's very satisfying to wait and hold your initiation and then get the perfect one, rather than just, you know, go off half-cocked and try to kill somebody when you really can't get it.
Underlord's so good with you. Underlord is fine with getting initiated on, and then he does all that like AoE shit, and then Sand King can do it at whatever the fuck they want, as opposed to like, if I have a Tide and a Sand King, they're both like, no, I'll counter initiate.
You first.
Let me. You go, and then I'll do after. And it's like, no.
Yeah, they did rush.
Just like, fucking hit me. I'm fat.
The Veno did rush pipe, which kind of made my ults a little underwhelming, but such is life. All right.
Shit happens.
Yep. So you can watch this game on our YouTube channel, .ptv1. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Ursinity. Proud is at Proud Dota. Our show is at .p_show. You can catch us on Discord, discord.gg/.p. You can find us on Twitch, YouTube, twitch.tv/.ptv. You can find us basically anywhere under Defense Patience or .p.
Like, if you have Amazon Prime, which I'm sure most of you, like, who doesn't at this point? Yeah. And that's not me just shilling. I just, like...
Amish.
Yes. They'd probably pay for it.
They probably do.
They just, you can't call either. Fuck.
They can.
Can they use phones?
It depends. I know...
Depends on the Amish, I guess.
Well, also, like, I know they can use phones under certain circumstances because my uncle lives in like Amish country in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, or at least adjacent to Amish country. And he was like, yeah, sometimes they'll just come to my house and be like, hey, yeah, we need to make a phone call. Can I like use your phone? Because they were like literally his neighbors. And so I think there's some like loopholes. Or like if you're Amish and you're on your Rumspringa and you have become a fan of Dot P and you now have Amazon Prime, you can donate that Twitch Prime membership to our Twitch channel. So that's our loophole. You can't
just use a word like Rumspringa and then not explain
Rumspringa. Do you know what a Rumspringa is? Rumspringa
Obviously
is like
not, otherwise I wouldn't be saying this.
Rumspringa is like the rite of passage where if you're Amish, you hit adulthood, you go on your Rumspringa, which is where like you leave your like town and you travel.
And you like decide whether or not it's for you.
Yeah, and you decide whether or not you want to leave your like Amish community and go to, standard society or if you want to stay Amish. That's called the Rumspringa. I'm probably mispronouncing
it. It's good that they give you the choice. I'm sure there's probably something I'm very ignorant about, and maybe it's like really bad and problematic, or it's like the best thing ever that I don't know. But it sounds cool at face value.
Yeah, I know I watched a documentary that was all around people who left after their Rumspringa, because most people still go back and be Amish again.
Well, yeah, it's the only life you know.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so that's your Amish lesson for the day.
If you have that, Twitch, you get a free Twitch sub, and if you use it on us, we get money.
Yes.
And you know what happens when we get money? We do things. That's kind of how it works. So
yes.
Yeah.
And another way you can do that is go to our Patreon, patreon.com/defensethepatients. You can find our Patreon exclusive episodes there. I believe the next one is going to be Roland and Proud. Probably, maybe.
Actually, whoever.
Yeah, it'll be whoever. Cyphus and I were on the last one, and it was great. It was one of the most fun podcasts I've recorded in a long time.
It's pretty good.
They're very fun and refreshing, and we get into a lot of both Dota talk and not Dota talk, lots of tangentializing, lots of fun stuff there. So if you want more content,
if you're fans of the personalities, if you like that, if that's a big part why you're coming, Patreon episodes, those are for you.
And you get them for as little as $1.
If you don't think we all fucking suck.
Yep.
That's for you.
So that's about that.
Yeah. Oh, also
iTunes reviews.
Check it out. There's gonna be a really sick shirt design up there soon for fans of Proudland or people who like Lone Druid. One or the other.
There are shirts on our website, defensethepatients.com, and there are new ones coming.
There's a new one coming. It's gonna be great, and I love it.
I have seen it. It is great. I can confirm.
It is great. So look for that in like a few days, week or something like that. Anyway. Yeah, so we'll announce it when it's there. I'm really happy about it. It's got my face on it. It doesn't have my face on it, but like a drawing. Anyway, you'll see it.
Yeah, it's not just like a mugshot of Proud. It is
that'd be a good
caricature.
Shirt.
That would be a good shirt.
It's got Bear on it too. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I would buy that shirt. Well, I mean, I would buy the mugshot one. I mean, I'll probably buy both, but
yeah.
Anyway,
I could just mail you a mugshot shirt.
That's
you can
true.
get that stitched into your abdomen next to the Mona Lisa shoulder.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening. And if you've lost, well, it's been our theory, and just blame the enemy Rubik Mid.
You kind of started that one.